For me, I don't use a phase one that often. I use it 6 times a year. It's not worth owning it.
I am so sorry about the audio. I don't know what I did. I didn't turn the mic on. I've only been recording on this shotgun mic here, which wasn't really set up for this. I've completely fluffed it. I'm very sorry. It'll be better next time. Today's video, we're going to be going over how to become a professional commercial photographer. Now, even though we're looking at a particular niche of photography, this is still a very broad genre. There's a lot of different jobs within this. So it's going to be reasonably broad, but hopefully it will help to point you in the right direction. Now, this might be a pretty seat to your pants edit system. We've got a chainsaw outside, somewhere down here and back to here in the space of a sentence. It's because everybody is doing their best to stop me from recording this today. But I'm going to plow through, hope for the best. I also don't have any other time to do it this week, so this is what's happening. So the first thing you need to do, and this is really important, almost regardless of what genre of photography you're going into, is to go and get an accountant and to go and get a credit score. Now, these will differ country to country. In the USA, even though it's state to state, the tax laws are all different. Find out what you need to do and do it. It is never worth evading tax, skimming on tax, or any dodginess. Sleep well at night, do it all properly, pay your taxes. It helps fund the country you live in. Now, the credit score thing's a bit of an odd one because it's not something you'd naturally perhaps think of. But for me personally, I came a cropper because I needed to borrow a large sum of money to invest. And I couldn't because I'd never had any debt, which sounds absurd. But in our country, if you don't have debt, you can't get debt. Now, if I need to borrow money again for the next sort of big investment, it might be £500,000 or £1 million. Now, that's a lot of money. And I need a credit score to get that. And to get that credit score, I'm obviously going to have to start 10, 15 years early. I can't just get to that point and go, I need a credit score because my whole career will just be put on hold. So get your finances sorted and also know your numbers. You need to know what you're spending day in, day out. Being a commercial photographer is a long, long game. It'll be a decade until you're really starting to make money. So know your numbers, understand where every penny or cent or dollar or whatever you may have of your money is going to. And if you don't need to spend it, don't spend it. Now, I've got the microphone pretty close right now because the sound's getting worse and worse in the background, so bear with me. Okay, the next thing is your portfolio. Obviously, you need a portfolio. This goes without saying. But you need to understand which portfolio goes where. So for me, I've got Instagram over here, and this is my personality portfolio. This shows people who I am, what my personal projects are, what I like to do, a bit of behind the scenes stuff on stories, how we do things, how we get the shot done. It's more of a personalized, very candid experience. And with this, you need to be posting regularly, which I hold my hands up. I've not been good at this recently. I've recently learned to drive, and I used to do all of my Instagramming in Ubers. So now that I'm not in Ubers, I've just realized I'm just not posting to Instagram. So I need to find a new time to do it. Not sure when. I'll find some sort of task when my hands are free and I can do them. But you need to get on there. You need to engage with people. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. What's important is that the right people are following you. For example, if you want to be a commercial photographer shooting for Nike, you need to make sure that you're engaging and you're connecting with the art directors, the art buyers, the creative directors for the ad agencies who are licensed by Nike or Nike. I'm never sure what the right pronunciation is. But you need to be in with those people. It doesn't matter whether you've got 10 followers or 10,000. It makes no difference. The important thing is that the right people are seeing and engaging with you. And also that you're engaging with them, and it has to be sincere. Don't put half-baked copy and paste comments on people's articles, on people's comment. It doesn't work. Don't bother with any of the apps to, increase your following. It's completely pointless. Just be a normal person, show people who you are, engage with the people you want to engage with, and have real engagement, because that's all that people want. I've never engaged with somebody who sent me some blanket response or, nice shot, check out my IG page. It's like, no, I'm not going to bother checking your IG page. It doesn't work. It never works. So ignore all of that. The next thing you need is a website. Now, this is like a broad overview of your portfolio. This is like a flavor of everything that you can do. Not everything in terms of, I can shoot sports, I can shoot weddings, we understand that as a photographer, you can take a photo of more than one thing, but it's more showing the broad overview of your niche. And this is a bit of a, people check there just to make sure that you are the right person. I don't really get many bookings because of my website. It's more of an authority page to say, I have a website. I am legitimate. But I do have a private portfolio that I send to clients, and these come in PDF books. And these will be tailor-made For the ad agency, just banged, sorry about that, that's probably deafening shattering of me smacking the microphone stand. But it's a tailored portfolio for that agency to show to their client. And it'll be exactly what they need to show for them to get the job. And when they get the job, I'll get the job. It's very important. This will have my credentials in it, who we've shot for, how we've shot for them, the level of campaign, whether it's just been a social media campaign with them for this client, or whether we shot their worldwide print campaign. Whatever it may be, that'll go into that document. And that's where I really do the selling. So this is a bit of a chicken and egg scenario, but you also need to be good at your work to produce a good portfolio. And you need to be consistently good. And this is where it all ties in together. You need to put the work in over a decade, over 20 years, 30 years, and continually put out good quality work. You need to be continually learning, and not just about photography. You need to learn about everything in your niche. If you're photographing sport, you cannot photograph runners for Nike if you do not understand running. Same with cycling. If you don't understand cycling, you're not shooting the new Rafa campaign. You have to understand that the sock should be a certain length. That when you're photographing a bike, the chain tip must be at a certain angle, the chain must be on certain gears. All these little things, whether, the type of ride they're doing, they should be having deep section wheels in here, should they be having box rims to go for a classic 1990s look. All these little details are important, and I don't photograph cycling. So if you do, you need to know, way beyond all of this stuff. For me in food, it's very important that I understand what's in trend, how it's presented, what it should taste like. I need to be able to show somebody what the plate of food is going to taste like in a photograph. That's my job. It doesn't matter whether I know fancy lighting techniques. It doesn't matter if I have Broncolor and Hasselblad and Phase 1. What matters is that the plate of food looks good. And I need to learn how to make sure that people can taste the food that I have in my photographs. Now, alongside all of this, you must have your niche. You must have a clearly defined niche. And this should almost be at day one, that you should go, well, for me, this is what I like. This is what I want to be photographing. This is what I know the most about. This is where my passion is. Because creative directors and art buyers, they don't book photographers who are jack of all trades or who do various different things. Being a portrait photographer or a photographer who works with people is not enough. Nike want to hire somebody who specializes in photographing runners in a particular scenario with a particular style for this particular campaign. And they'll be paying an obscene amount of money to be that person. And you need to work out who you are and just let those other jobs swim by. They're not for you, they're for other photographers, but you need to really hone in on that niche. Just focus on it. Just go, this is what I do. I'm chasing these 5 jobs this year, because you don't need to be working every day or every week in commercial photography. The jobs pay a level of money where you can go, well, I'm going to work this month on this campaign. Next month, I've got this one. The month after, I don't have any work. That's fine. It isn't shooting day in and day out as if you're an editorial photographer or as if you're a headshot photographer. It's a very different world. There's a lot more behind the scenes stuff. I've got a vlog that I keep once a week that shows you some of this sort of interesting stuff. So do hit subscribe, shameless plug, if you want to learn about that. And just keep going at it. You've got to really, and that's not to say, I have a couple of clients. There's one who comes in, they want all their kids, our kids go to the same school. They want all the kids having their headshots done for the acting school. And you know what? It's not much money. It's a day of my life. I'll take that job because I enjoy it. They like having someone they know. It's a nice thing to do, but I don't then put it on my Instagram. I don't put it on my website. It's just one of those things I do. It's a bit of cash, does the job. So I'm going to sign off by talking about the thing that everybody wants to talk about and everyone tells you doesn't matter, and that's the gear. You need to have the right equipment. That doesn't mean you have to own it. I don't own a medium format camera. I rent it, but I have access to it. And I have the means to rent it. I have the means to put the deposit down, to pay the rental fees. Some of my jobs, my rental fees were $1,000 or $2,000 a day, and that might be a 10-day shoot. You need to have that money. And you don't, for me, I don't use a Phase 1 that often. I use it 6 times a year. It's not worth owning it. The devaluation or depreciation is too high for me to justify it at this stage. If I was using it every day, if I was doing reproduction work, product photography, I'd probably have one because it would save me so much time, but it's not for me. I do have to have this studio, which I'm sat in right now, which is why I've got the echoey audio, because it's like a cave. Hello? It's pretty echoey. But you do need to have these things, but you don't have to have them on day one. And likewise, it might take you 10 years to get to the big jobs, but it doesn't mean it's going to take you 10 years to get paid. It's a slow progression. I would say it was 10 years in until I started buying fancy Zeiss lenses, the 5DS I recently procured, a fleet of C stands that I could put in all different angles and positions, and all the scrims, dabbers, softboxes, all those little things. They take time, but it's a snowballing effect.
So when you start out, you're probably pretty skint. I've got a video, I'll link it somehow. I don't know how. It'll either be up here if I can work out how to do that, in the description, or somewhere, about getting started when you're broke, because that's how I got started. You don't need to throw in loads of money at the beginning. For the first few years, the kit you have, it really won't make any difference. You know, it might be a slight difference, but not one which is going to change the course of your career. So I hope that's of use to you and helps point you in the right direction and understand how to become a commercial photographer. I'm going to try and do these for some different genres as well. If you want your genre covering, drop a comment below. If there's something that I haven't covered that you think, yeah, that's all great, but I need to know how to do this, pop that in the comments below as well. And I'll try and add it to the vlog at the Q&A at the end this week. I hope you're enjoying this. Do hit subscribe, do share it with your friends, and I'll see you all next time.